Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. Today I'd like to direct your attention to a very interesting filing that the interveners, that's the Media Coalition, filed on June 2nd, 2023. They're leading up to the hearing that's going to be held before Judge Judge regarding their request to set aside the gag order. They now, on June 2nd, come back and they provide a supplemental memorandum providing more grounds, more basis, more reasons for Judge Judge to set aside that gag order that's been in place since January of 2023. And although it was signed by Judge Marshall, not Judge, that order is still effective until Judge Judge either amends it, sets it aside, or does something else. So they're coming forward, they're advising the court, look, Your Honor, we've filed these declarations, which we talked about in a prior episode of this series, where the various members of the media, from a boots on the ground perspective, talked about how their jobs were made difficult, if not impossible, by this gag order. And they gave specifics of trying to get Mr. Kohberger's booking video, of trying to get other information, and they could not from various sources because of this gag order. So they're reminding the court that we have all these declarations, and by the way, you should not allow the state and the defense to come back now, Judge, and give more reasons why this gag order should continue. This is one of the times regarding this non-dissemination order where both the state and the defense were on the same page. They were back in January 2023 when they entered a stipulation and convinced Judge Marshall to enter that non-dissemination order to begin with. So what they're saying here, and what we know from their motion, is the Media Coalition's arguing that they did not meet their burden of proof why the First Amendment should be gagged in this case. They're stating that they went forward, they asked for the gag order, they had the burden of proof at that time back in January why the gag order should have been entered then and should have been in effect for the 6 months almost that it has been. They're saying here, the Media Coalition, that they should not be given a second or third bite of the apple in June to give reasons in June why that gag order entered in January was proper. Their time to do that was back in January, is what Ms. Olson is arguing here. It's a really interesting read. I strongly recommend, if you have an interest in the First Amendment and how it was implicated in this case and how it was gagged in this case, I definitely recommend that you look at the interveners' point of view in both the motion that they filed back in May and now this supplemental motion that they're filing, this memorandum in June, as well as the various declarations that the individual media members filed talking about how this gag order impacted them and made it difficult, if not impossible, to report on this case. As always, I am giving my opinions, reading documents available to us in this case. And if you'd like to take a look at the documents, this memorandum that was filed June 2nd, 2023, or any of the other documents involved in Idaho versus Kohberger, please follow the link that I have provided in the description. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today. I hope that you will join us again for our next episode in this continuing series.